of course, you know how the song starts. Come on, baby, dry your eyes, wipe your tears. And the C major 9, and then that E minor 9. I wouldn't ever try to hurt you. And then it gets back to that, and I'll show you the A minor 7. Emptiness, the D7, and then I'm only human, of flesh and blood, I'm made. So I think there's 6 or 7 chords in the whole song. All right, I'm only human, or human, I think it's called. It's a great song. Again, I remember this from the 80s very well. That was the keyboard decade, and I was a sophomore in high school when the song came out, so I remember it very well. And if you're a beginner, I want to show you, the reason I teach chords is it's all about chords. As much, I remember hearing the song growing, and I'm like, man, I can't play that. I'm like, what is that? But once you learn the chords, there's not really many chords in the song. There's that C major 9 that I had to look up. There's a D, there's an E minor 7, there's a D over F sharp, there's a G. So as always, I'll break this song down, and really only broke it down into 2, 3 really, because the intro, that B minor 7 is a little bit different, and then all the other times it goes after the G, it goes. And again, once you learn the chords, and I'll show you what I used to do when I was a beginner, when I only knew majors and minors back then. I didn't know any of the 7s or major 9, nothing. So I would have played the song like, if I didn't know what a C major 9 was, I would just play a C. Or no, I would do, and then I would have done an E minor back then because I didn't know what an E minor 7 was. I would have done an E minor. I knew what a D over F sharp was, and I knew what a G was, and then I didn't know what that was, or E minor 9. I would have just done an E minor. I would have flipped between an E minor and a C. So again, it's all chords. Once you learn the chords, I don't care if you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced, you have a year or less under your belt, or you have 5 years, or you have 30 years. It's all chords. Trust me, and I know that from, I can show you stacks of books that I have. Elton John, Billy Joel, Genesis, Rush, Van Halen, yes. It's all chords. Even riffs, it's all part of a chord structure and a certain scale. So here we go. Let's do this. So right from now we're transposed to +1. That's right. It's a C, but the actual song is a C sharp, and then they do the, on the sharp chord, on the flat chord. I think it's in A flat. Yep. So I lowered it to G for us. So we're gonna do a +1. So now the C sounds like a C sharp. So as always, we'll break this song down in parts. So part 1 is that, I'll just include the intro as part 1. So again, we're transposed to +1. So you can play this in the key of G. I lowered it. We have the D chord, and it's all in a nice key. So you start on the C, and then it does 8 counts. It goes 3, and it does it 8, and on the 8th time it goes 8. Does that, and that's actually part 1, because that's the intro, and that's different. It's the same chords when he starts to sing, come on baby, dry your eye, wipe your tears, but he doesn't do that B minor 7. He just goes right back to the C major 9, and that's part 2. And then part 3 is the E minor 9, which I had to look up. Again, I've been playing a long time, guys, almost 40 years now. I can show you any song. I will do Foreplay by Boston. Yep, I do know that one too. Genesis, Follow You, Follow Me. I can't tell you how many songs I want to do that I want to show you. If you're starting out, or even if you have 10 years under your belt, guys, I'm still looking chords up. I had to look up this E minor 9. I'm like, so an E minor 9 is, now I don't know about you guys, but I don't even like 4-note chords with my right hand, let alone 5. So if I was playing this somewhere, I would go, I wouldn't ever try to hurt you. See how it flows? You're still on the chord. So E minor 9, I would just do. Now, what are the notes you're left with? I don't mind a 4-note chord on my right hand, especially a little closer together like this. Not quite a full octave. So you're already on these 4 notes anyway. On the let's see, yep, on the E minor 9. Aside from that F sharp, it's. See how you go into the C, and again, that's why I always listen to the bass. You're doing the same notes here, but that's an E minor 9. But now what is it? It's not an E minor or anything. It's a C major 9. See what I would do? I would go. I wouldn't ever try. You're already on those 4 notes. Touch you. I need to fill the void while you were gone. And it's again, it's all chords. A minor 7, D7, and then. I'm only human of flesh and blood. I'm made. And I'll show you the, when she goes, I cheated too, and she tells the guy, please forgive me too, and then it goes. It gets right back into the I'm only human, and it fades out like that. So here's part 1. You're just going to hit the C. And I like to do octaves. If you're a beginner, again, you could play it like, come on, baby, dry your eyes, wipe your tears. But I like to give it depth, and when I play, I love doing full octaves on the bass. It just, boom, it gives it power. So it's, I'm only human, of flesh and blood I'm made. So you can play it any way you want. But the chords are, once he does the C, remember, and he does it on the 8th time, it goes 8. Now, a C major 9. Okay, again, I went on guitar tabs, and that's usually how I start these songs out, just to get a feel of what the chord structure. So I'll look, and then I'll get a bass. So it said C major 9. Now, again, back then, I would have played it a C. I would have figured that part out, but I would have went. That E minor. I mean, it doesn't sound exact, but that's all I knew back then. So with 24 chords, you can play 80% of probably a lot of these songs. So a C major 9, and I guess a C major 9 according to Google. That's a C major 9. Again, I don't know about you guys, but I don't even like 4-note chords, but I don't mind this one. So if that's a C major 9, we don't need the C. There, we can use the C on the bass. So here we go. Part 1, I'll just talk you through it first and naming the chords, then I'll just back up and do it. So it goes on the 8th one. C major 9, E minor 9, D over F sharp G, D minor 7, C major 9, D, E minor 7, D over F sharp G, C major 9, and then come on baby dry your eyes. Same chords. Only he goes right to the C major 9. They don't do the B flat minor, that little transition. And that's part 2. So here we go. And that's really the only difference. That's really the only difference between part 1 and part 2. So this will move quick, and then we'll go to part 3, and we'll finish up. So part 1 is after that C. And you could come down any way you want. It's basically. And then C major 9. So it does the E, G, D. And then D, E minor 7, D over F sharp, G. Then it does the G, F sharp, D. And you could do, again, if you're a beginner. Or if you don't want to do the. And then B minor 7, remember our chords, which is a D. I would have done a B minor back then. I would have done a, but it doesn't sound right. See how that's, it's a B minor 7, it's a D over B, and then back to that C major 9. So here we go. Here's part 1 all the way through. And actually, I'm going to speed this up. I'm just going to do the beginning and then part 1 and then part 2, because the only difference is part 1 has that B B minor 7 before the C major 9. So here's the timing of it. 8th 1. So here we go. Here's the verse, and the only difference between the part 2 and 1, it's almost the same. It's just that part 2, the verse goes, come on, baby, dry your eyes, wipe your tears. See how it goes right back to that C major 9. It doesn't do that. That's the only difference. So basically, let me just do it one time, regular speed, and we'll go to part 2. And then we'll finish up. So let's just do part 1 all the way through to part 2, just to give you the timing. And I'll just do it regular speed, and then we'll move to part 3, the E minor 9. I would never try to hurt you. So here we go. Just for timing and speed, I'll kind of bounce it, just to give you the timing of it. I'll just do it regular speed. The intro all the way through part 1, and then through the first part, through the verse, part 2. And then right before that E minor 9, and I'll just give you the timing of it. We'll move to part 3, that E minor 9. I would never try to hurt you. So here we go. Right from the intro, it goes 8 time 8. Come on, baby, dry your eyes. So I don't want to go all the way through, but basically that's the same thing. Come on, baby, dry your eyes, wipe your tears. And then right back to the C major 9. So pretty much the verse is the same thing. It goes right back to that C major 9 instead of the B minor 7 transition. So it's just, come on, baby, dry your eyes, wipe your tears. Then it goes, see you cry. And then he speaks something like, I'm so sorry or something. Okay, that's pretty much it. Now we're to part 3. Okay, here's part 3 when he goes, I wouldn't ever try to hurt you, never wanna. Just needed to fill the void while you were gone. Those chords are an E minor 9, which again I had to look up. An E minor 9. I don't know about you guys, but try hitting that chord, playing this out somewhere, or I don't know. I don't like that chord at all. But here's part 3. The chords of an E minor 9 are, which again I had to look up. The E minor throws that F sharp. So an E minor 9 is, there's that E minor 7 and then 9, and however they figure an E minor 9. But so if you're playing this out somewhere, or you want to blow, you want to play this at your friend's, bonfire party or picnic or birthday party or whatever, I would just keep hovering between the E minor 9 and then the C major 7, which again, it's all about chords. So it goes, I never want to hurt you. I never wanted to. So again, that E minor 9, well, if those are the chords to an E minor 9, I don't even like doing those 5 notes in broken chords, but if you really just throw the F sharp in there. So what are the remaining notes? Those 4. That's the C major 9, the first note in the beginning. So it flip-flops between these two, so really it's not that hard, because you could do a, I never wanna hurt you. See how these 4 notes? So when you play out, again, it's all about chords. As long as you're on that chord and you're doing broken chords however you want, the song's going to sound good. So if you go, let's see, how does it even go? I don't even know. I would never try to hurt you. I just needed someone to hold me. So he goes, I wouldn't ever try to hurt you. Let's see, I just needed someone to and then fill the space of emptiness, A minor 7, and then D7. I'm only human, of flesh and blood I'm made. So again, the chords on an E minor on that part 3 is E minor 9. I wouldn't ever try. C major 9. Hurt you. Hold me. Fill the space while you were gone. So 3 times it goes between the E minor 9 and the C major 9, and then the last time, the 4th time, it goes A minor 7, which you remember our chords back then. I only knew A minor, but that's an A minor 7. Fill the space. It's a little milder than an A minor. Fill the space of emptiness, and then that D7. And again, I would have just played a D back then, but if you remember, go back to my chords. And again, I realize you don't need me. You could go on Google AI, look up any chord you want. I'm still doing it. What's a piano chord? E minor 9. So you can look them up there, but basically if you watch those, that D7, how I get to a 7, it's a pretty easy way to remember. I think I did 3 videos on beginner stuff, and I will do scales and broken chords, playing by ear, and all the stuff I do. That will all come in the near future. So here we go. So one time just regular speed, and then I'll show you how they end the song, and then we'll... a couple other things they do, and then we'll finish up. So it goes. And then I'm only human. Basically right back to part 2. So the only time they do part 1 is right in the beginning, that B minor 7. And then they do like, let's see, another chorus, so many nights along, I'm only human. Oh, and then the part where she goes, you know, the tears I cry are tears of pain. You know, it does it's basically a C, B, G, D, A, and if you want to do octaves, it goes, and she goes, I cheated too. She goes, when we were apart, I was human too, and then it goes, and then right back to the C major 9. And then the second time it does it, and then the third time, I'm only human, of flesh and blood are made. Want to make mistakes. I am just a man. When she when she yells high, it part's pretty cool. When she goes, I am just a man. I think they just go till fade out, but like I say, usually when a song, I lower this to the key of G for us, and to fade out, I would end it on the G, and that's usually how it works out. So if you're on the key of G, let's say, and I would end the song on the G chord. If you played it, you know, at a party or your mom's house, dad's house, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your best friend, your girlfriend, boyfriend, brother, cousin, sister. All right. I'm only human by the Human by the Human League, 1986. It seems like yesterday. Guys, have a great night. See you on the next one.